All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get into these markets, man. Let's ride these waves. As always, starting with the dollar index. And last week we saw a lot of pressure, a lot of bearish pressure coming to the market on the dollar, at least. It picked up some steam to the downside. So we can see here that this is the weekly price had a strong bearish close here on the weekly. Really, that's like an evening star type projection. So my bias will remain bearish this week. All right, so if we go down to the daily chart, we can see overall price was just rejecting from this previous area of structure. All right, this previous level of structure, it formed a double top here and had a strong daily close. All right, so what I would look for is some type of pullback possibly before price continue down. All right, so it's either we're going to get a slight pullback, even looking here on the 4-hour, is either price will give us, certain areas of structure that I will look for here is maybe somewhere within here, possibly. So if price wants to pull back first, that will be an area possibly you could look for price to pull back into before another wave down. All right, either a pullback or maybe it want to break this level. If so, then it likely can continue down further into this next level here we see, which is this major level of demand. All right, so this will be a key level to pay attention to. If price gets back down here to possibly bounce. All right, breaker bounce, strong breaker bounce type area. And what I'm heavily focused on this week actually is the yen pairs. All right, because I ended last week catching some nice short setups on yen pairs. We could see overall, this is the Japanese yen index. So we could see overall prices clearly been in this downtrend. All right, looking at this on the weekly. But we see a lot of bullish pressure just came in the yen to end the week. And that was why some of those pairs, well, all of the pairs across the board were pulling back, correcting, because they're long overdue. They've been in the uptrend with the weakness of the yen. But I love to use the index as something to pay attention to give me an edge when I'm trading that specific currency pair. All right. Because so now we see this weekly candle just engulfed the last 2 weeks. All right. So for me, that's a sign that we're likely to continue to get some upside. We can see here price did form a lower low here. All right, breaking past this previous low. But we clearly see that we've been in a downtrend. But now with the most recent price action, I would look for sales. And I would look for a more bullish correction on the yen. So, but this is beautiful price action right here. Like you can see price forming a double top up here. And if you've been riding the uptrend on yen pairs with the weakness of the yen, you've really been banking nice, because you can even see here, this is textbook. Like we got a double top up here. Price broke the neckline structure. Nice retest for the continued wave, forming that lower low. And if you're looking at this, you're looking at the index and you're trading the yen pairs, it gives you an edge. So now it can give you confidence in the direction you should be trading in. Because one thing about yen, it is a safe haven type currency. All right. So that's why normally when yen is moving heavy, you see all of the pairs across the board doing the same thing. They all moving. So if GBPJPY is moving strongly to the upside because of yen, you're likely going to see EJ doing the same thing, AJ, CJ, all the yen pairs for the most part across the board. And that's normally the same with the dollar. These currencies that hold a lot of weight and value in the market, you'll see that override and like you'll see that correlation. All right. So starting with some of the dollar pairs to go in line with what we're seeing, what I'm seeing on the dollar index. So let's look at gold. So understanding gold just had a pump, just ended the week with a nice pump. This right here is actually looking like an inverted head and shoulders here on the daily. Right here, we got the head, left shoulder, right shoulder formed. And we see here on the daily, we got a nice bullish engulfing candle that just formed. All right, strong rejection there on the weekly. Now, overall, we could see price has been, well, technically, gold is in an uptrend, technically. All right, but this is the all-time high that was made up here on gold, and it respected this strong level and had a big sell-off. All right, so we could possibly see more downside, but before that happened, it's looking like gold is developing for a bigger up move. So it's one of two things that's gonna happen. All right, so if I go down to, let's say, the 4-hour, like I said, this is an inverted head and shoulders. So it's either we're going to see gold just continue to break that structure. Then you could catch some type of pullback or retest for the next wave up. Either that, or you could see some type of correction, some type of pullback first, and then look to catch that move up. But overall, look for gold to stay above this right shoulder. All right, so either a break above retest or a slight pullback first for the continue upside. All right, but all in all, bullish on gold this week. That's my bias there. All right, and looking at GU. So I actually sent this out, and GU did do what I was anticipating once I saw this price structure. Like we look here on the daily. But first, looking at the weekly, we could see how the weekly just closed. So the weekly closed strong, very bullish. All right, strong, bullish, engulfing, morning star type candle. So my bias is definitely still bullish here on GU. All right. So if we go down to the daily, and this is when I anticipated, because we can see here on the daily, price was moving, higher highs and higher lows. And overall, it pulled back and basically retested structure to the left, major structure supply. So it retested that structure and then formed a bullish engulfing. All right. So with this bullish engulfing, we see prices now move to the upside. All right. Strong pump up. So it basically came back and hit this level, reached this high again. All right. So one of two things is going to happen. Is either price is going to definitely still bullish. And if I'm looking to the left, well, we'll look at that. So first is either price is going to break above, maybe wait for a break and then catch some type of pullback or retest for the next wave up, or allow price to pull back some first. All right, on this pullback, then look to take it up. We can even look at this on a 4 hour. So we can see more clearly the level I will look for on the pullback. So somewhere around here. All right, somewhere around here is where I would look for a potential pullback or retest opportunity, all right, for price to potentially continue to the upside. All right, now if I'm looking at overall where I would expect price to head to, all right, just based off the higher time frame. Looking to the left, we have a major level of structure here. All right, level of structure there. So roughly around 1.30, psychological level that lines up right along with this structure here. All right, so that's where I will be looking for price to pull into, around 1.30. All right, EURUSD. Same thing. So price came down and had a strong pump from this level. Had a strong pump from here. All right. So if we look at the weekly, strong close on the weekly, strong bullish close. All right. So my bias will remain to the upside on EU. All right. So overall, ideally, I would say wait for some type of pullback. All right. You can even measure this from this impulse leg, the bottom of the impulse leg to this high. All right. You could ideally look for potentially some type of pullback before you get another wave up. So it's either going to give you the pullback or it's going to continue up and then possibly look for a pullback there, something along those lines. But overall, you just want to flow with the market, allow things to warm up and develop, and then just let it come to you. All right, let it come to you. Because normally when I see like a strong daily pump like this, you see this big daily candle that just formed, I'd like to see some type of pullback of that. All right, and ideally expect price to stay above this candle. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, price pulled back about 50% of this candle, right? Somewhere around here, maybe even 61.8, which is a nice golden retracement. All right. And you can look for potential longs within that pullback. And expect price to stay above this daily candle. All right. And the targets, either to this high, -27, also that lines up with that level of resistance, and potentially higher, all right, based off the higher time frames, pushing back into that major level of supply. All right. So that's EU, long bias. AU as well. And just like I said with the yen, you know, all of these pairs that's lined up with the dollar, all of the pairs that's lined up with the yen, for the most part, they usually trade the same direction. So once you know where the dollar is headed based off the higher time frame, you likely could just follow and just flow with the market when you're trading these pairs. All right. So if I'm looking at the weekly, now overall, well, this move, you see price forming a big bearish engulfing and then fell down a little further. But now we got this nice, strong bullish close on the weekly. All right. And on a daily, all right, you do a top-down analysis, understand what's going on a higher time frame. And daily just formed a nice bullish engulfing candle. All right, basically came down and found support here. All right, so in a way, this is like a double bottom, found support at that same level. All right, and with the dollar being bearish, and that's the bias for the week, I wouldn't look to short this. I would look for long opportunities. All right, so ideally see some type of pullback. And within this pullback, look for another wave up. So either the pullback, all right, or, you know, price could just continue and break above structure. If price was to continue and break above structure here, then, you know, on the break above, you look for some type of pullback retest and look to catch the next wave. I would aim for this roughly around this level of structure here. All right, now moving on to the yen pairs. All right, GJ. These pairs, it was a lot of manipulation, a lot going on with these pairs. But it did end the week. My bad, this is EJ. It did end the week. Nice, beautiful. So really it started up here. You know, I sent out, if you haven't watched my 4-hour break retest strategy, I definitely recommend go check that out. Also be sure to like and subscribe, and I appreciate that support, because really this gave that type of opportunity here. But first, it started up here because this was perfect. It broke, breaking back below structure, looking to the left, the same level of resistance that it fell. And this is the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, you had a nice strong close back below, right? Respecting that level. So this is where, and this looks like an evening star. This is an evening star, actually. I will identify that as an evening star. So nice candle indication, candle pattern. You see it slightly pulled back. All right. So on the pullback of that 4-hour candle, you could enter. Stop loss would have been above there, above structure. That's only like 27 pips right there. At least take it back down to this structure support. That's 100 pips. So that's 1 to 3, almost 1 to 4 risk to reward you would have made right there if you wanted to cash out there. Boom. You got your funded account. You got like whatever you're trading. That's how you pass. That's how you get nice profits when you're trading with nice capital. All right. Percentages, pips and percentages. Now you can see what it did. This was also another opportunity here, you know, right here when you see how price 4-hour, right, broke below. It didn't pull back as nice, but it continued down. This was this was pure like manipulation right there. Oops, sorry about that. That was pure manipulation right there. So, but it did continue down further. So how I'm looking at this now moving forward, and you can see same thing when it comes to the structure, the strategy I showed. This was another opportunity. Once price broke below structure here, nice break below structure. Looking to the left, this was structure support, right? It was also like a form of resistance right here. So in the retest of this, you look for the opportunity. So it played around this level a bit, you know, wicked above. All right, but once I started seeing price hold and close below here, I started looking for short, started looking for sales, right? Stop loss above that structure wick and took this to the downside. So that right there is over, you know, about a 1 to 2, risking about 57 pips to make about 125 or more. All right, so moving forward, my bias is remaining bearish here. So I would say either if you get some type of pullback or retest within here, all right, and then look for another wave down. That's what I would look for on EJ. So something like that. Or if, I mean, if you're looking at the daily here, the daily had a nice strong close. All right. So I will anticipate price to stay below this daily structure. All right. And look for price to pull back into this structure here. All right. Now, based off the weekly, we could possibly be setting up for like a real big correction, because here on the weekly, price did form this big bearish engulfing. So that could be setting up possibly for an even bigger corrective move to the downside, you know. So if that is the case, all right, let me see here. If that is the case, then if price comes down and firmly breaks below this level, you can start looking for a potential continued move down. All right. Now, if price, to really signify that they're on the weekly, you're gonna have a bigger pullback. You know, if we come down and we break that level, this higher low, then you know that could be setting up for an even bigger move down. So I will be having my eyes on EJ. So GJ, similar to EJ. We can see here on the weekly. So on the weekly, all right, not much, that's a slight engulfing candle, not very strong. All right, but overall, we're still in an uptrend here on the daily and the weekly. So you still want to be careful when trading this. But we can see price topped out right there. This gave another opportunity. It played around this level a lot, like before it dropped. Like up here, you see initially wicked above, a lot of liquidity. So you're gonna see the liquidity presses. They're gonna trap liquidity. Had a sharp move down, came up again. You know, broke, slightly grabbed liquidity above that high, and then rolled back over. All right. So same thing. You know, I would say maybe some type of pullback first, and then look for to continue play down. Either that, or if price want to just continue down already. If it breaks this level of structure, all right, similar to the 4-hour break. If a 4-hour break is ideal, look for the slight pullback or maybe the retest and catch a bigger wave to the downside. Because looking at the structure here, if we break through here, you know, I will be looking for price to come back down towards here, towards 180. All right, this level of support there. CADJPY. All right. This had a nice rejection. And looking at this on a weekly, beautiful, strong level of supply. Always look left to go right. This was a level where price had a deep fall. So now I love this price action here on the weekly. Nice evening star rejection on the weekly. For me, this is a sign that we're definitely likely to head lower. This zone is still very fresh too. This is his first time we're testing this level since October 22nd. All right. So from this drop, this is the first retest. So the freshness of the zone is also ideal when you're looking to trade from this level. So with that type of rejection on the weekly, I will still be looking for a continued sell-off. All right. Daily, nice, looking good. So if I look here on the 4-hour, all right, I would say look for some type of pullback. If price gives, you know, some type of pullback, that could be ideal. Look for some type of pullback to continue down further. All right. Or, I mean, if price just, hypothetically speaking, you know, I would look at this low. If price don't pull back, but it just comes down and continues to break down. On that breakdown, look for a pullback, potential retest, and continue to catch a bigger wave down. Because based off how the weekly is looking with that evening star, I will be looking for price to come back down here. Down basically to like 105 to 104.76 type area, you know, within this zone. All right, definitely at least 105. I'm looking for price to come to, which is another 200 pips from where price is currently at. If it pulls back some, that's an even better risk to reward. UJ, we see here on UJ, this was a really good setup because not only the yen correct to the upside, but the dollar also was bearish. So that just gave the UJ even more pressure, you know, to sell off. So we see here on the weekly, we got a strong engulfing candle. That's a good sign for another potential bigger move to the downside. Now we are sitting at a level of structure right here to pay attention to. All right, so if I go down to the daily, all right, strong close on the daily, looking to the left. This is a level of structure. You see over here with support, turn resistance on a break and retest here, right? So this, if we break that, I definitely would look for price to continue down further. But before that happens, you see this strong closure on the daily. All right, now if I go down to the 4-hour, you know, it's good to do top-down analysis so you can see your next potential areas of structure. This is a level I would pay attention to on the 4-hour right here, within there. All right. This is actually the 4-hour break. This is a part of the strategy. Strong 4-hour close right here, breaking below this higher low structure. All right. So that's the key indication. All right. So I would look for a pullback of that. Real quick, you can also take our trend line. Boom. You see we got a strong break of that on the 4-hour. So look for something like this potentially. Price to come back, retest within here, right? On that retest, you know, I would look for price to stay below here. Now, this is most likely above. This is most likely above the daily candle. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so it's not, because that was such a big daily candle. But a lot of times when you see like a strong 4-hour closure, when you put that above, that's a lot of times it's above the daily candle. But in that case, it's not. But still, this is still structure. All right. Still structure. You see, so I will look for price to stay below that. Okay, and just continue down further. Now, but keep in mind, if this continue down from here, it's likely about to break below this structure. And if it does that, then we could be setting up for even bigger fall on UJ. And NZDJPY. All right, NZDJPY as well, just like all the yen pairs. All right, you can see here on the weekly. Beautiful. This is a beautiful rejection on a weekly. Nice pin bar rejection. All right, shooting star type rejection. Looking to the left, what price did is basic. You know, it retested from some structure over here. Okay, so definitely I would just keep this very simple. You know, just keep this very simple here with UJ. Clean some of this up. All right, I'm looking to the left. I'm looking at this area. Right, I'm looking at this area for the next potential area where it could be a target of structure for take profit. All right, so now you see he's had a strong close down. Now, if I look at this on a 4-hour, I'll just keep this real simple because this also is a part of the strategy, right? This is the break of the structure right here, 4-hour break. All right, so before the week closed, it actually slightly retested. So technically, that would have been like an entry right here. That could have been your entry, stop loss above here, and then ride this down. So this level of structure would be my first area I would look for to be a target. But in this week, if it comes back and pulls back and retest, then that's your opportunity to continue lower. All right, with stop loss above structure. All right, or if it don't pull back and give you another retest, right, you just look for price to, if it just continues to make a lower low here, like something like this, then you look for the next pullback opportunity or retest and then catch that wave down. All right. So those are the pairs that I want to cover today on the watch list. Heavily focused on yen. Likely gonna, you know, maybe pick the top 2, top 3 that I want to watch for the week. Definitely heavy on GJ and EJ. But I hope you got value out of that. Be sure to like and subscribe. Help me out with those thumbs up. If you're getting value out of this, I appreciate it. Tap in to the free Telegram as well if you want to stay up to date with different analysis. But if you're looking for hands-on mentorship and also take profit signals and things of that nature, you can join and tap into the VIP Discord and the program we got for you. But with that, let's catch some pips. Let's ride this wave, and y'all be blessed. Peace.